everybody, welcome into the Flippin Hippos YouTube channel. Today is Sunday, September 15th. We are halfway through the month of September. I'm trying to make sure I have this muted because I make this rookie mistake every time I go live because that's just me. Alright, it's muted. So today is September 15th. We are halfway through the month of September. And believe it or not, we have exactly 15 days until Q4 begins. It's 2 weeks from Tuesday. So 2 weeks from Tuesday, we have 2 weeks from today, plus an extra Monday. That's like 15 days. 15 days, y'all. That's unbelievable. I don't even know. You always hear people say, I don't know where September went. I don't know where 2019 went. I don't know where I don't know where my life went. Life is fleeting and things move too fast and things go by so quickly. I feel like just yesterday I was excited and counting down the days to go to open, but that was back in July. So, I mean, time does go by quickly and it will be here before you know it. So before we jump into the topic, let me say hi to some folks. Hi, Greg. Welcome in. Jamie's driving. I think he's coming home from the beach house, right? Well, I shouldn't ask you questions because you can't type. Charissa, Donna, Rhonda, and Amelia, welcome in. Thank you for joining us tonight. Amy, hi. Hi, Pete. And Sydney says, that shirt, though. So for those of you that don't know, this shirt, though, you never forget your first doctor. You might have seen pictures of me on the Fremont Street, right? Yeah. I'm blowing up. Y'all might have seen pictures of me in this t-shirt in Vegas on the Strip. This was a gift from Sydney. Thank you again, Sydney. It is like my favorite t-shirt now. Because you never forget your first doctor. But anyway, this is a great shirt. I went out today with this shirt on and my new TARDIS bag. I felt like a total dork dweeb, but I loved it. Jamie says TikTok. Yep, TikTok. Do y'all know how fast 2 weeks can go by? It's a blink of an eye. Like, you don't even think about it. Like, 2 weeks ago, today was when I started to have the really bad migraines. And then I had a week of recovering and then a good week. And here we are. And that seems like that was just yesterday. So it goes by pretty fast. Just, we all know that. You can put it into perspective. You can look at 2 weeks ago from today. Think about what you were doing, what you were thinking. And that went by really fast. So, hi Debbie. Hi Brenda in Ohio. Hi Dawn. Northwest Purple Sparkles is here. Happy Gingers. Chris, hi, and Swimmerization's here. Welcome in. And Donatella, hey, welcome in, girlfriend. I haven't seen you in a while. You've been busy, though. I've seen that you got monetized, so congratulations on that. Now you can actually make a couple of pennies for your videos rather than doing it for free. But yeah, we pretty much have 2 weeks left until Q4 starts. I can't guarantee for everyone that you're gonna wake up October 1st and it's gonna be like a switch flipped and your sales are gonna double and you're gonna be overflowing and trying to catch up on shipping. But it does happen. It's not like you wake up, like I said, you don't wake up October 1st and suddenly you have 50 sales. Usually from the beginning of September to the end of September, you'll start to see an uptick from that summer slowdown. And I feel like the summer slowdown starts in the middle of the summer and then it just kind of tanks all the way. And that last part of August every year is terrible. It's like sales are in the toilet and it's like no matter what you do, you can list your face off and do all the best practices and you're still going to have one sale a day. That's just the last couple of weeks of August. That's just how it is. I've seen that year after year after year. It's that way every year. And then usually in September, you start to see kind of a really slow uptick. It's, again, not overnight, but you'll start to see that you start to come back up from that bottom out of the summer sales. And, of course, there's always exceptions to this. There's exceptions to everything. Clearly, if you sell electronics, you probably never have a slowdown. You probably never really feel the summer slowdown. Clearly, if you sell items that people need year round, you're not going to feel it. But if you have a business model similar to ours, which is some electronics and some hard goods, but you base most of your model on used clothing and or plush, this applies to you. And I feel like most of my audience probably has business models similar to mine, or you wouldn't be watching me to learn. So yeah, there is exceptions to that, but I'm reading the chat and I'm trying to keep my mind on track. Let me say hi to Robert. Welcome in. Thanks for joining us. The auctions are going to be something I'm going to have to start hitting up Donatella when I'm snowed in here in the cold Pennsylvania. When I can't get out for inventory, I'll be your biggest customer. Yeah, my life is, I am still not even caught up from that week of, I call it the week of headaches, the week of migraines. That was a tough week, and I worked really, really hard last week. And those of you that follow us on Instagram can probably attest that you saw the photos every day of the shipping packages. Sales are definitely up around here. They've definitely picked up. We're starting to see daily sales on Poshmark again. So you can clearly see that whatever I'm doing is paying off / things go back up in September. Because our sales were in the tank, and then we were doing everything we should be doing, and then I got sick, and then they just went bleh, done, gone. But they're definitely picking up, and I've been working my face off, but I'm not caught up. And then I went out today and sourced like 44 more plush and more jeans, and I ordered a 30-pound box from ThreadUp. So I feel like a squirrel right now, or a bear. I know winter's coming, and I know what happens here in the winter, and I can't stop this impulse to just buy, and buy in wholesale and buy lots and buy as much as I can. It's like it's a natural instinct for those of us that live in places that have harsh winters. I think that little squirrel kicks in, the squirrel mode, and you just want to get as much as you can. Oh, Dawn, I'm sorry if you're having migraines. They are still here in PA, though. They are here. Holly's still having them. I'm having them on and off. It's just that the medication that I finally gave in when I went to the doctor and got works. Imagine that. You go to your doctor and you tell me you have a problem, and you're not a stubborn Taurus like me and practically have to die before you go. But yeah, no, I'm still having them. We're still having thunder and lightning here and stuff. In fact, I feel an aura of one coming on right now, so I took my med before the show, and it should kick in and I'll be fine. So I did say in a video, if you do suffer from something chronically and it's affecting your life detrimentally, like if it's starting to affect your work or the way you are interacting with your family or your friends or your sleep, you probably should see a doctor and see if you can get some help or some relief. Yeah, Donatella, Friday nights are really, really hard for me right now. That's like the one night a week that I actually don't work and I take off, and Keith and I go out to dinner together. We have date night. We watch movies together. That may change once there's no more yard sale seasons. We may move that to Saturday. It may not change, but if we don't have inventory and I need some and we can't get out, I will definitely come to an auction. It'll just have to be like an exception to the rule. But Fridays are tough for us because that's like the one night, and that's a good thing for you guys to hear. If you have a husband or a significant other or wife, girlfriend, whatever, boyfriend, you guys should agree on a day, at least one day a week, that you don't work, that you don't get on your phone, that you don't focus on other people, that you guys meet together and have a meal, whether you order and take out or go out to a restaurant, and then do something together that you enjoy. If you like watching movies, watch movies together. If you like mini golf or bowling, whatever, but you should definitely pick something that you can both agree to and both manage to get rid of everybody else and everything else in your life for that one night and stick to it. Friday night's ours. And you should also do that with your kids. Like, if you have kids, you should pick a day a week that you do something fun with your kids and stick to it. Have a board game night. Have a family card game night. And you guys should also have a night that you have for yourselves too, because me time is also important. You can't take care of anybody else if you don't take care of yourself. If you're not happy, no one else in your life will be happy. You have to do that self-care. You have to take care of yourself, because you cannot take care of other people until you've taken care of yourself. It's like the masks on the airplane, how they always tell you, in case of an emergency, if the oxygen masks come down, please put yours on first before you try to help anybody else. You have to help yourself before you can help others. So it's important to have one night a week that you set aside for your significant other, but make time to do something fun as a family as a whole, or with your kids, and then do something for yourself. Even if it's all you can do is carve out 1 hour a week to sit down and read a book, or go for a walk in the woods, or whatever your thing is. Watch a football game on Sunday. Everyone's different. Everyone has different interests, but carve out some time for yourself. It's important. And, make sure you're taking care of your health too, because if you drop dead from a stroke because you eat cheeseburgers and you have high blood pressure, you aren't good to anybody either. So, let me read the chat. 3 days a week. Yeah, go ahead and message me. Don't be sorry. Don't think it's a bummer. I mean, I'm literally okay. Like, I literally have medication that stops them once I feel the aura now. So Robert's on his way to the Benz. Yay! Hey, Deb and Mel are here, giving Sydney a shout out. Dawn followed Casey's review advice and had 6 sales this weekend. That's amazing. Y'all should listen to Casey. If you don't know who Casey is, he's the Rockstar Flipper. And y'all should listen to him. Listen, Keith and I learned everything we know from Casey as far as eBay and social media. Sydney is who I learned Poshmark from. Everything I know about Poshmark I learned from Sydney. But long before we spread out to other platforms, long before we were on YouTube, long before we were successful, we were watching Casey and following him, long before we really knew him or were friends with him. He knows his shit, guys. So, whoops, I swore. He knows his stuff. So, if you like me and you like the advice I give, just remember, I learned from him. Now, of course, I do some things differently, and Keith does some things differently from Casey, and we've had to tweak some things, and I do teach some things a little differently, but that's just because everyone's got to find the right thing for them. I say that a lot in a lot of my videos. You guys know that. Everybody's business model and the way everybody works and the way everybody does things is going to be different depending on you and your needs and your goals and your time and what you can dedicate to the job. But shout out to me. Yay. I mean, I don't know that I would say he's the best, Susan. I mean, he's aight. I can say that we're good friends. So let's actually stop just chatting about nothing and let's talk about the topic. So again, 2 weeks. 2 weeks, October 1st. You're not going to wake up and discover that you have a lot of sales, although that can happen. I remember last year, it was like a switch was flipped. Like, it literally hit October, and we had double the amount of sales we had been having in August and September. And then we went on vacation to Florida, and it took us like almost all of November to recoup from that. And then December was pretty good. We also know not to go on vacation mode anymore and just put our handling time out. So that should help this year. Steak is ready. Oh, enjoy your steak, Donatella. Sounds delicious. Thank you so much. Love you too. Chris says, highly recommend the Live Strong program. Live Strong. Program at the YMCA for people going through or have finished cancer treatment. Awesome program. That's cool. Thank you for sharing that, Chris. And sorry that you have had, are did fight cancer. It's a shitty disease. It's not fun. Susan says, I just saved you therapy. Yeah, I'm kind of like a teacher of the reselling business / organizer, bullet journal guru / tough love therapist. It's cool. I do it all. I struggle with a lot too, you guys, and I try to help others be successful in spite of everything that we all face every single day. Okay, so last year, I do remember as soon as October hit, our sales were out the door. They were crazy, right? But we spent all of September prepping for it. So I feel like I'm a little bit behind this year because, again, the first week of September, I was lying in bed, dying, dehydrated with migraines. But I did work really hard this past week. We've busted our butts this weekend. We're busting our butts in the coming week. I've given some things up in order to prep for Q4, which, sometimes you have to do. If you can't list what you need to list on eBay every day to get to your goal of the amount of listings that you need for Q4 or want for Q4 to see the goal or the amount of sales that you want, sometimes you have to sacrifice. So I will admit that I'm down to sharing Posh twice a day rather than 3 times a day. I'm sharing it in the morning, first thing to wake it up, and I'm sharing it at the last party of the night, but I shared everything twice, once to the party and once to my followers. I'm still participating in Sydney's share group. And then throughout the day, I just kind of check in and see if there's any new likes, and I send out offers. And I think that's what's making the sales come in more. Obviously, if I was sharing a third time of the day, I would be making more sales, but I need that extra half hour to list 5 to 6 more things on eBay every day because I'm trying to personally list 15 to 20 items a day on eBay. In addition to Keith's, he does like 10 to 20 depending on his time. But I need that extra half hour. Now when Q4 hits and things start selling more, I'm probably going to have to keep that momentum through December at least, where I'm only sharing Posh twice. Because more things are going to sell. We're going to have to list more to keep our listing number up, to keep up with what's selling, if that makes sense. So it'll probably be January or whatever till I can share 3 times a day. Maybe sooner. We're very close to Keith quitting his job. Once that happens, sky's the limit. I like you and Keith very much, but one of your followers is wrong. The way the box was packed and mostly trash. So thank you, but I'm gone, y'all. I'm not sure I understand what happened there. Like, did you buy something from one of my followers? I don't know. I don't have anything to do with my followers or what they sell or don't sell or what they do. I'm just here teaching people best practices and how to be successful and make more sales. I have no control over what people do. Hi, Linda. Welcome in. Susan shares 2 a.m. her time, which is midnight West Coast. Suzanne says we picked up a couple of Beanie Babies and some stuffed animals cheap. The comps are crazy all over the place on eBay and Terra Peak. So I just I don't know. Robert, are you still here? You can help me field this question real quick before we get into my list. Here's the thing. It depends on how many there's listed, first of all. If there's a ton that are listed and it's saturated, you can't go too high because you're going to wait forever. But if there's like 3 turds that have something listed at 5 free ship, somebody at 12, there's only 4, then you could maybe list yours at 13, 14, 15, because you're only waiting for just a couple to sell, and then yours will sell. But if there's 25,000... that's an exaggeration. If there's 25 people that have it up for $5, $6 free ship, you're going to be waiting a long time. So then I would go middle. I never go with the lowest price. I always go higher. What I have noticed about a lot of people who sell plush, and this is present company excluded, and anybody in my group should be also be excluded, because you should be following all the best practices that I teach you guys. But I have noticed that I want to be nice about this, but a lot of people who sell plush have really crappy pictures. They'll literally have the plush on the floor or on a couch, and it's dark and you can barely see what the plush is. It's like bad angles. They'll only have like the front of the plush maybe and the tag. They never have it next to a measuring tape or whatever. So I'm always confident that I can go high. But I kind of look at the comps, and I don't comp anymore. I did at the beginning, but now I know what I want for everything. But if you're just starting out with plush, that's what you kind of have to do. Is hi Jody, thank you for coming, thank you for the congrats. But I have noticed that the majority of plush sellers have really crappy photos, really bad titles and keywords. So I'm confident that my plush on that white background back there with studio lights, nice and bright, with the front and the back and the tags and one next to the measuring tape, and my titles always follow the perfect formula that eBay suggests you to follow for the search engine. I follow all the best practices, free shipping in most cases, best offer. I price high for that reason too. And sometimes mine sell first because people see value in it. So sometimes I'll list a plush at $15. In fact, she's already wrapped. Darn it. I just did the shipping. I just sold a Beanie Boo. It's a cat that was a Claire's exclusive with the glitter eyes. She sold for $15. And now when I comped her, people had her up for $4, $5, $6, maybe $8 free ship. I was confident enough in my photos and my title and everything that I could list mine higher, and she sold in like a couple of weeks of being listed. So sometimes people will see the better photos. You show up higher in the searches too if you have the better title, by the way. And they think, oh, well, this one has more value. What's wrong with these ones over here that are priced like junk? I hope that helped. It's kind of not, it's not an easy thing to explain on how to comp plush. You just kind of have to look at how many there are. What do you feel yours is worth? Sometimes I tell people literally just go to my store and to Robert's store, Zombie Bargain Hunter, and comp your plush off of us. You're going to have higher prices and you may be sitting longer. You may not. Like I said, sometimes they sell faster. I'm pretty confident in telling people that. I've also told people who are new to jeans to look at my store, Megan McWhinney's store, and Sydney's Posh Closet to comp your jeans. But that's just giving you ideas of people who really know what they're doing, who are experts in plush and jeans, so that you can see what you can possibly get for them. Suzanne says plush is a new thing. Yeah, plush is so much fun. I bought 44 new plush today. They're all in bags next to me. I got 44 new friends. Hi, Vicky. Pictures are absolutely key, and so is the title. Exactly, Pete. If your plush looks stellar on a white background with great lighting, and yours is the only one, and when you're comping, you see everybody else is tossed on the floor or on a couch in the dark, yours looks better. Charge more. Connie, your sales are in the tank. I'm sorry to hear that. We're going to talk tonight about some things to do to prepare for Q4. We've already been on for half an hour, and I'm just like hanging out with my friends and chatting today. It's like I do have direction. I promise. I sat down at Keith's. We went over to Keith's grandparents today for dinner. We ordered in pizza. And while we were waiting for the pizza, I borrowed a couple posties from his grandma. And so I do have direction. I have stuff I want to do. But I just feel like I'm hanging out with my friends tonight, and we're just chatting. Which is cool, too. My eBay needs rehab. I forget I have listings on there. Maybe why I'm not selling. So you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket, Vicky. You should be absolutely paying attention to eBay and Poshmark. It doesn't have to be equally, but they should both be getting attention every day. Every single day, they should be getting attention. If your eBay's been stale for a long time, you can go in and end some of your good till canceled and just go into the unsolds where they'll go once you in them and sell similar and put them back in. You can lower the prices, play with them a little bit if you want. But you should absolutely be paying attention. Any platforms you sell on, you should be touching in some way or paying attention to it in some way every single day. You can't ignore them or they won't work for you. So you, like, here's the thing though. Plush is just like anything else. You learn. You look them up. You join my Facebook group, Vicky. Are you in my Facebook group, Vicky? Join my Facebook group. People in there love to help each other out. And people in there love to post their plush. And it's absolutely fine. I love it. All day, every day, people are putting in pictures of plush and saying, do you guys know who this dude is? What movie is he from? What cartoon is he from? So join my Facebook group. It's in the description box down below. I don't even know if any of my mods are on to link it for you. But yeah, you can join that. We'll learn you how. We'll learn you how, because that's not proper English. We'll teach you how. We can help you learn the characters. But it's just like anything else. Like, when I first started doing shoes, I still think they're skeevy and disgusting and they gross me out. But I happen to like money more than I hate germs. But when I first started with shoes, I got so frustrated because it would take me like an hour to do 4 or 5 shoe listings because I still didn't even know what anything was. Like, what's the slingback? What's the difference between a wedge and a platform? What's a wingtip? And now I'm up to about 8 pairs of shoes an hour because I've learned. You just learn. So just got my lighting kit. Yeah, so just keep playing around with it. That's all I can suggest. Like, when we first got ours, it was forever and a day ago. Some of our first pictures were like too bright or too blurry, but we just kept playing with it. You could mess with the settings on your phone, but just like everything else in life, you have to keep doing it over and over and over and over again until you're a pro, right? Vicky says, yes, I'm in your Facebook group. 600 listings and only 2 sold this week. Yeah, you need to definitely be paying attention to it, to your eBay a little bit more. 600 listings, I wouldn't expect daily sales, not until you have 1,000 active. But with 600, you should be seeing more than 2 in a week. I need learn. Vicky, you need learn. But definitely, in some of your good till cancels, sell similar. Maybe refresh your store where you just go in, where it says edit. There's a drop down box. It has 1 to 500, and then yours specifically would only have 1 to 500 and 5 to 600. Click that, and then when you get into the bulk edit, don't change anything. Just say send or through or list or whatever it says. I can't remember. I'm so sorry, but it's just like a bulk edit, and you don't change anything. It allegedly refreshes your store. We've been doing it 1 to 2 times a week for years. When I first started doing it, we did see an uptick in sales, so I've never stopped doing it. Hi, Anna. Yes, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. And yes, I am feeling much, 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 much better. The Emitrex is definitely a godsend. Definitely. Vicky says, I'm in Indiana and the shoes don't go on half off for $99 like the rest of the stuff. I don't really get a lot of my shoes from Goodwill, to be honest with you. The last 3 huge lots I got 25 pairs from a local reseller who's going out of business, and she gave me a deal on 25 pairs. It was like it was 200 and something for everything. We got some electronics too. And then I got 2 big giant garbage bags stuffed full at a fill-a-bag church sale. Spent like $20 there. And then I went to a yard sale, and this lady had like 21 pairs of shoes and gave them all to me for $100. So I don't really get a lot of them from Goodwill. I got 2 pairs from Goodwill today that were 99 cents, but they were just like, well, they're like Clark's, and I don't even think the other one was a good brand. They were just cute. We don't even bother with normal good shoes. Dansko's and Dr. Martens at the Shadeland bins. Woo! So Rhonda and Amelia, you guys like the thread up shoe boxes? I've been contemplating them because I'm really getting into the shoe game now. Believe it or not, like last year at this time, the thought of doing shoes, even mentioning shoes to me, and I'd probably, it was so gross. But I like money. I like sales. And shoes are amazing. And I've been plowing through the 100 some pairs that I got in bulk recently. Like them a lot. They make money. They sell. I mean, we sold like 4 pairs this weekend. 5 maybe. I can't remember. 4 or 5 pairs just this weekend. So yeah, if you guys like those, let me know because I might try it out. I just ordered a 30-pound box of denim though. Good job, Robin. Refresh every day and the ones that will be ending. Yep, that's pretty much what I do. Kind of. I do hard goods 1 month and close the next month so that I'm only doing them every other month because I drop the prices by like 5%. So I try to let them go for 2 months before I drop prices. But basically what I do every morning, first thing, I end what's ending, sell similar, drop the prices a little bit. I send out offers. I share the Posh Closet, send out offers, kind of just to wake both platforms up. Like, hello, we're here, we're active, we're doing stuff. Vicky says, I'm buying me that box for Christmas. Sometimes they need work. Yeah, that's where you run into Star doesn't want any part of it. All right, guys, we're halfway through the show. Let's quickly get through my bullet list of things for Q4. So, are you ready for Q4? We have 2 weeks left. This is crunch time. So, if you haven't yet done these things, you need to do them now because 2 weeks is going to go by quick. You need to do these things now. Organize your inventory. If your inventory is a mess, if you don't have an inventory system, if you're losing things constantly, you can't find things, you're spending too much time looking for things, take a day or a weekend between now and October 1st and do something about it. Because if you think it's bad now, it's going to be even worse when you're selling double what you're selling now, when you're having more orders come in. We are pretty organized. We have a pretty good inventory system. My plush is a mess right now, and I will be working on those before Q4, just because some of them fell out of their bags. And I talked about that, the live interview I did with Robert, when we were talking about how we store our plush. But, you know, I'm infallible too. My plush are a mess, but everything else is organized. But last year, the plush was organized too. Really nice. Everything was great, good to go. And we were still spending about a half an hour to 40 minutes longer on shipping a day with the increase of the sales. So if you can imagine that you're going to spend 20 to 30 minutes more on shipping just because it increases, so it takes longer to pull it, pack it, you know, all that stuff. If your stuff's a mess, you're going to go crazy. And then you're not going to have any time left to list, photograph, share your closet, all that good stuff. So before Q4 hits, get organized. These are my magic hands, my witch hands. I'm sending you guys positive energy. Get your stuff organized. Excuse me. Vicky says Poshmark has been better for me. Sometimes Poshmark is better for me, and sometimes eBay is better for me. I just try to even Steven, pay them attention. That way, when one's doing bad, the other one's probably doing good, or they're both doing good sometimes. Knock on wood. Robin, that's a good thing. Good thing to do. That's a good thing. That's a good routine is what I'm looking for. Sydney got a storage unit. We have an entire 3rd floor that we don't use for anything but eBay storage. It'll take me a week. We'll break that up, Anna. Break it up into chunks. Just like I always say to people, don't overwhelm yourself. Anna, if you think it's going to take you a week, we have 2 weeks. So figure out an hour a day, go work on it. Half hour a day, whatever you need, go work on it every single day. But don't spend a whole week on it, because then you won't be listing or anything else. If you change your handling time to 2 days, it affects top rated plus, not top rated. So you can still be top rated, but you won't be top rated plus. Couldn't find a raccoon. Robert, my plush, you couldn't find a raccoon yesterday. We actually had, I don't want to say we canceled because we have a, okay, so if we can't find something, I'm going to tell you this real quick. If we can't find something, because it happens to us too, even though we have a very good system, and we're pretty organized, but we're still humans at the end of the day, and I make the same mistakes that all of you guys make all the time. So if we can't, this doesn't happen all the time. I'm saying I make mistakes all the time. But this thing, it happens once in a while where I can't find something or Keith can't find something. Instead of canceling it and taking the ding, what we do is we write the buyer and just say, we're sorry that this item was listed in error. We would like to offer you the choice of anything in our store up to X amount of dollars, depending on what they bought. If they bought a $20 item, we'll offer them up to $25. If they bought a $15 item, we offer them up to $20. We kind of offer them a little bit more just to ease the disappointment and hopefully their anger at us. But we just tell them, we would like to offer you anything in our store up to X amount. Or if you prefer, we can cancel this order and refund you in full. Please let us know at your earliest convenience. A lot of people will go through the store and choose an alternate item. We mail that and use the shipping label that's already on the thing they bought that we can't find. If they choose to get a refund, we can cancel buyer requested and avoid the ding. That's what you should always be doing if you can't find something. So we had to do that with an EOR. Unfortunately, because I was in court dealing with my workers' comp crap, and because my plush are a mess, and like I mentioned in that show with Robert, they have fallen out of bags and they're just kind of getting disorganized. And I know where they're at. I know exactly where they're at, where every single one of them is. So one of our Eeyores sold that wasn't in a clearly labeled spot and didn't have anything in his SKU line. Keith can't be a mind reader. You can't call me when I'm in court. So he didn't know what to do. He panicked and wrote that letter that we write everyone. And the person asked to cancel. And now Eeyore is back in the store. So it happens. Zombie, I got a family in the backyard. Huge cracks down to, wow, that's crazy. Robin says I'm a very organized person, but I had to go through my makeup inventory. Yep. eBay somehow magically relists things sometimes that have already sold. We had a Harry Potter shirt a few years ago that sold 4 times. 4 times. We weren't relisting it, but somehow it sold 4 times. Sometimes things just happen. They just relist themselves. Sometimes Bonanza doesn't take it down too. All right. So, again, these are the things that if you haven't done them yet, you have 2 weeks left, please do them. Organize your inventory. Order and stock up on your shipping supplies now. Use your quarterly coupon if you have a store, because that's going to expire at the end of September. And the supplies that you order on the postal.com, USPS.com postal website, they get backed up. When we get into fourth quarter, they get backed up. Number 1, they get backed up with orders because there's a lot of sellers ordering stuff. And number 2, the mail kind of slows down and gets backed up the closer we get to the holidays. You guys know that. So order what you need now. Over order. Get extra. Go in every day, once a day, and order the max of whatever. If you sell a lot of jeans, order a couple boxes of padded flats 3 or 4 days in a row. Worst case scenario, you have an extra box of padded flats left over at the end of Q4 that you can use in January, February. But you don't want to run out. So make sure that you take stock of what shipping supplies that you use the most of and order a bunch. Over order. It is better to over order and have extra. As far as the free supplies. And then if you purchase poly bags or any other kind of boxes for shipping or those yellow padded envelopes or anything like that, order those now. Again, if you have the capital, over order, because it's better to have too much in Q4 than to run out. Because we can't really predict how sales are going to go. We know they're going to go up. We know they're going to get better. Even used clothing, believe it or not, everything sells in Q4. So you just want to be over prepared. Terapeak is free for basic stores. Yes, it's not for the starter. So order your shipping supplies. The free ones, the ones you pay for, use your coupon. your quarterly coupon. And in fact, what I recommend to people is to use your coupon now, your quarterly coupon for your store subscription, your free supplies. Use it now, and then on October 1st, use it again. Use it right away so you have that extra stuff in place for Q4. So if you needed it later in Q4, you're not waiting for the mail, which slows down, blah, blah, blah. So use it now, use it October 1st. Have you already, and if you haven't, you got 2 weeks left, have you gone through your death piles and your I don't wannas and dug out the stuff that absolutely should be listed for Q4? Normally, I don't tell people to cherry pick through your own stuff and list seasonally. I always tell people to list all the things all the time. But we're getting into Q4, so I kind of do recommend go, if you have death piles and the I don't want us that you're not dealing with, go through them and make sure any clothing that's new with tags is listed. Make sure anything that you have, I'll give you a sneak peek of my haul from today. If you have anything like this that's in a box, or Christmas orientated, and he cute. He was 99 cents. Pink was the color today. So if you have any toys, any Christmas stuff, any kind of thing that's new and it's packaged, new in the box like this, you want to get it up. New with tags clothing. If you have shoes that are new or used, but they still have their box so you can make the front photo look really nice, get them up. But just make sure that you're that you absolutely are, when you're doing your photos and you're listing, you're cherry picking now. You want to be cherry picking now. You want to be getting your Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas stuff up. Anything new, anything that you think is unique, somebody would buy for someone as a gift, even if it's used. Like I've gone through and made sure I put up all of our Disney collectors coffee mugs. I got that Popples glass up that I showed you guys. I've just been trying really, really hard to get up things that I think are collectibles, things that people will look for as a special gift for somebody. You just want to make sure that you get all that stuff up now. Robin has a jewelry death pile. Have you created a good routine? Okay, so I talked to you about this back in August, that you needed to create a good routine so that when you go into Q4, you're on autopilot. It takes, and I say this all the time, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself and you've heard me say this before, but it bears repeating. It takes 30 days to create a good habit. We only have 15 until Q4, so hopefully you listened to me back in August and started to create those new habits and those new routines, because it takes 30 days to create a good habit. You have to force yourself to do something 30 days in a row before it becomes automatic without thinking. So I hope you guys have created those new routines. If you haven't, it's still not too late. Make sure you're making your to-do list every single day and working your way through it from most important to least important so that you're getting done what you need to get done. You know, listing is probably more important than sourcing at this point if you have death piles. If you don't have death piles and you don't have enough inventory, you need to be outsourcing and getting enough inventory. So you know what your situation is, you know what your life is, you can prioritize your own to-do lists. But make sure you're creating those for each day. Make sure you're in a good routine. If you do this full-time from home, make sure you are instilling in yourself a good work ethic. You are getting up every morning and doing this, this, and this, and working. That you're actually being your own boss, like bossing yourself and working. Make sure you have your goals ready for Q4. You could also put those in your bullet journal or your notebook, whatever, your phone, wherever you keep track of your stuff. You need to have goals going into Q4 and you need to have goals for Q4. So to make that make more sense, going into Q4, you want to have X amount of listings on eBay, X amount of listings on Poshmark. You want to have a goal for how much you have stocked up in inventory, how much you have stocked up in shipping supplies, things like that. Those are your pre-Q4. Your Q4 goals are how many sales do you want to make? How much money do you want to make? And that's what you're working towards. So I do recommend that people list more right now. I've been saying that since August also. If you want to make X amount of sales or X amount of money weekly, daily, monthly during Q4 or for the whole quarter, you have to sell enough to hit those goals. And in order to sell more, you have to list more in order to do that. So if you want to sell 40 items a day in Q4, you've got to have 4,000 active listings. I just stumbled over my own words there. Sorry, guys. You got to have 4,000 active listings if you want to sell 40 items a day. Now, that's for a 0.5% sell-through rate, which most used clothing is going to have. Most plush, most of your collectible mugs and glasses. Shoes, I think, have a little bit higher of a sell-through rate. They sell a little bit faster and better. Of course, electronics is always the exception. But do list extra now so you can sell more later. And I've been saying that since August, so hopefully you were listening to me all this time. Because everybody's sales were in the toilet last month. They were tanked. All of us had all this extra time on our hands where we were wrapping maybe 1 or 2 things to ship a day. It was a bummer. But that gave you extra time to list more, to dig through those death piles and get that cherry-picked stuff in your stores now. It is almost too late to start listing Halloween stuff because that's like 6 weeks away. So make sure Halloween's your priority because we're almost too late for that. Thanksgiving is next, and then of course there's Christmas and New Year's. You want to get all of that up. But when you're outsourcing too, keep that in mind. When you're outsourcing, if you see stuff in the package like this still, pick it up. If you see stuff that's new at tags, it really doesn't matter about the brand. If you find it cheap enough, if you're finding it, half off, 99 cents, or at the Benz, if you see holiday stuff, New Year's Eve stuff, pick that up. And then kind of like change your mindset too while you're outsourcing for the next couple of weeks. Like I said, think creatively. There we go. English. Creatively. Think creatively when you're looking at stuff. Is this something that somebody in the world needs to have but will never buy for themselves? Because that's something you want to put in the store because somebody else has a friend that collects these and they'll get that for them as a gift. Just like I absolutely love Hippos and Harley Quinn and stuff like that. Hardly ever buy myself anything, but other people will go looking for Harley Quinn and Hippos for me and horror stuff like this thing Holly sent me. So if you see stuff like this, there is somebody in the world like me that loves horror movies that needs this but wouldn't buy it for themselves. But if it's in your store, their friend is going to think this is perfect for them and they're going to get it. So kind of change your mindset too while you're looking around. Are these things that are niches? Are these things that people like? Are these things that people collect? Are these things that people are crazy about that they love? And get them and put them in your store. Listed 40 yesterday. Woo! Vicky, that's amazing. That's really good. And sorry that your head hurts. I can definitely sympathize. So, you need to do it to it. I actually wrote that down, believe it or not. Do it to it. Y'all heard that expression, right? So, I got about 13 minutes left with you guys tonight. If you have any questions at all, I'm opening up the floor. Doesn't have to be about Q4 or anything we talked about tonight, or it can be. It could be anything you want. If you have any questions at all, now's your time to throw them in the chat, and then I'll get to you as many of them as I can before I get off. But in that 12 minutes while you guys are coming up with your questions and throwing them over there, I've got a challenge for you, and we're going to check back in next week. I have a challenge for you. I want you guys to list double what you normally list for the next 2 weeks. So we'll check in next Sunday and then the next Sunday after that, which is right before the Q4 kicks in. If it's really not feasible for you, if you have small children at home, if you have a job outside of the house still, if this isn't your full-time job, increase it by what you can. So make it, I would like to see everyone double the amount of listings they do every day, because that will make you so successful for Q4. But if that's not possible, I don't want you killing yourselves. I don't want you stressing out. Never make goals that aren't attainable for you. So whatever you can do, just do more than you do now. Let's make that the challenge. 1 more listing, 2 more listings a day, 3 more listings a day, whatever you can handle. Just do a little bit more than you normally do, so that your number overall will grow And then when we go into Q4, everybody will have more listings and we'll all be more successful. We'll all make more sales. Not feasible for me. It's not. 10 a day is about what I can crack with the way my routines and schedule is. And I'm doing 15 to 20 currently. So I'm going to continue to aim for 15 to 20 because that's five to almost, well, to double more what is realistic for me. So, but going into Q4, I'm okay with working double time extra hard. So I'll be doing the challenge with you guys. I'm going to say I'm going to try for 15 or 20 a day. But everybody should be listing more. My favorite food, Jody, is hamburgers. I love hamburgers. Keith and I have this thing and we've gone to we've lived in and been to several states across the nation together. And every time Keith and I go somewhere new, we have to try a hamburger place there. And we have a master list of the top, 5 hamburger places. And they're always getting shuffled around and moved around. But current spot at number 1 is right here in Pittsburgh, Burgatory. It's been staying there for quite some time. The other slots underneath it get jostled around as we've tried places in Vegas and Florida, South Carolina. But hamburgers... And I'm on a quest in my life to try them everywhere I go. Don't fiddle fart around. Robert is absolutely right. Everybody stop fiddle farting around. Keith is doing really, really good. He's currently playing WoW with Casey. I think they played together last night too. So he's doing good. He's been working really, really hard. So he's been taking an hour a night or so, 2 hours a night, and playing with Casey. Wow, it's their stress relief. Susan's going to do 100 listings tonight. That's amazingly crazy. Good luck, and I'm impressed. Bestsellers during Q4. Everybody's buying everything in Q4. That's the thing. Everybody's buying everything. As far as bestsellers, it's probably just the same as every other time during the year. Clearly, electronics are always the best bet. New stuff's best. Shoes are good, but people are buying everything. Everything sells in Q4. Don't forget that some kids that are away at college and some grandkids that live in a different state get Christmas money early. And people have Christmas money as early as November, and they come online and buy used clothing for themselves. And it's not their money, so they're willing to spend it. Doc Martens, they sold. Let me see if I can find them. I do have a bin in the hall full of Doc Martens that we got. This is how awful, how awfully behind I am. The 25 pairs of shoes I got from the lady, the storage unit lady, local seller that's going out of business because she's moving to Germany for her job. I found her through Vicky and Katie's group, Boss Up. They're in the hall in a bin. I haven't photographed them yet. I'm still working through all of the other shoes. So, I did sell one pair. That didn't come from that. They came from the box that we got through Casey. I'm going to see if I can find them in the solds real quick, because I do not remember. But the one pair I did have listed sold overnight. It was crazy. And they were pretty high too. But they were super different and super cute. They were like little Mary Janes. I'll see if I can find them. Super quick. How long ago was it that they sold? See how quick time goes by? I feel like they just sold yesterday, and I'm digging through these solds, and I'm not seeing them. I also work better on a computer than there they are. So these were like Mary Jane chunky goth things. So I accepted a best offer of $50 plus they paid shipping. So I must have listed them at 60, which means I would have actually put them up for $75. I would have listed them at $75 so that when our 20% off sale hit, they would have went to $60. And then I knew that was high. So they sold for $50. Can you see that? And they're super cute, aren't they? They were a really bad size too. They were a size 5, which is like even smaller than my tiny little hobbit feet. But $50 plus shipping. So Christmas presents clothes to keep warm and look good in. Does creating drafts count as activity? You need to. What counts as activity is you need to be listing. You can end and sell similar, but I wouldn't rely fully on that. I would also list, tweaking them and putting them back in. But just creating drafts does not count as activity, no. Rhonda and Amelia want to list 40 a day through Q4. That's pretty much where we're at between the two of us. Coats and jackets are good, yes. Absolutely. All year round. Not just now. I'll pay you Tuesday for a hamburger on Wednesday. You know that there's kids these days that don't even know what that means or where it came from? Makes me feel old. No fiddle farting. I'm the kind of fiddle farting, but I'm the king of fiddle farting, but I source a lot. Dennis, you're funny. Swimmerization. Totally miss All American Drive on Long Island in my hometown. Hey, Harlans, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. We're just about wrapping up. We're taking questions now. Continue throwing your questions in the chat if you want. Suzanne, I picked up Christmas items this weekend. Yeah, get those up this week. Absolutely. That's super duper important right now because we're almost too late for Halloween. So, Christmas people, I've been listing Christmas since July and people have been buying it. So people are looking for it. Definitely. Yeah, you want to list everything, but definitely you want to list anything seasonal first right now. Anything new, anything holiday themed. But the men's, I don't know, the women's boots might be worth $70 because they're boots. I mean, are boots worth $10 more than Oxfords? Sorry, the Mary Janes. I mean, I really wanted 60 for them, but I knew that was reaching, so I just took the 50. It was when sales were really bad too, so it was like, well, $50 for something we paid a couple bucks for. I'll take it, especially when I know I list too high sometimes. Yeah, not great sizes, but look, my 5s sold. Maybe it wasn't overnight, maybe it was like 2 nights, but I want to say it was like overnight. I feel like I listed them early in the morning and it was right after supper when the offer came in and Keith and I were like debating how low do we want to go because they came in at 40. We went back with 55 and I was like 50 is probably my lowest. I remember, I have a pretty good memory. I remember talking about that like right after dinner. So it might have been the same day. I love a challenge, but I'm in Vegas. I'll have to go crazy when I get back. Robert, you're crazy anyway. Don't you list like 40 things a day every day? Halloween stuff is already sold, Robin says. Yep, people are out there shopping already. But this really weird, really magical thing happens in Q4. People stop caring about how much things are. I'm not kidding. You know how like all year people want to lowball you. They want to fight for that last 50 cents or that last dollar, and everybody feels like a cheapskate, and everybody feels like they want everything for basically free, or they want you to pay them to take it, in those low ball offers. That goes away. There's this magical thing that just happens to people when they're holiday shopping and gift shopping. They don't care what stuff costs anymore. They have their wallet open and they're basically telling you, here, take my money. Just take it. Take my money. It's ridiculous. We had people literally paying like $20 for overnight express shipping on stuffed animals last year because they wanted them to go or to get there or to be shipped to their grandkids in some cases because they would, send us messages with it. on time. People were buying dumb plush toys and spending more for the shipping than the toy. And you'll see this too. Like, more people will buy things outright. Even if you have best offer on, more people in Q4 are just going to buy it for whatever you have it listed at, unless people are going to try to barter and bargain and best offer you, because they just don't care. It's a magic blinder thing that happens to people during Q4. They just don't care how much stuff costs anymore. They just want to throw their money at you. Or they have gift money from someone else and they're like, well, I have $100 to spend on myself and it's not my money. Let me just go nuts and buy stuff I want. So yeah, Robert, Q4 is fun. People are nuts. They're like, I want this $12 plush overnight. Can I pay $20, $30? Can you put express shipping on it? And you're like, my goodness, people. So keep that in mind too. I should have mentioned that. That should have been on my list. That'll be my last point before I let you guys go tonight. You can list a little bit higher. I wouldn't start doing it now. I already list really high. I'm nuts. You guys know I list way too high. No, I don't. Things sell. I list high and I make money. I'm not about to race to the bottom. I already list really high though. But the thing is, you can list a little bit higher in Q4. So maybe starting in October, November, going in, like maybe even starting at the beginning of October, but definitely towards the end when people are starting to get gifts and they're getting desperate and they're looking for the right thing and they want it quick. You can start pricing things $2 to $5 higher and people will pay it. It is ridiculous. They just open their wallet and they tell you to reach in and take out what you want because they want your stuff. So keep that in mind while you're listing too, that you can ask for $2 to $5 more on most items in Q4. You really, really can, especially gifty things that you think are going to be bought for gifts for people. So that said, I'm going to let you guys go. It is after 10 o'clock already. I can see the remnants of the harvest moon right out the window here. It's really beautiful. I hope you guys did go out and look at that on Friday the 13th. It was gorgeous. Wherever you are, whatever state you were in, it was beautiful. Anyway, guys, I'm going to let you go. I got to go get shipping ready and share the Posh Closet and wake up tomorrow to start the first of 2 weeks left before Q4 and bust my butt. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I absolutely appreciate you guys coming and sitting with me and chatting. Hit the like button before you go. Helps the channel. If you haven't already and you'd like to, please subscribe to our channel and help us feed all these hungry hippos. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We're at Flippin' Hippos across all social media. Don't forget to join our Facebook group. Link is in the description box, or you can search for Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod on Facebook. Thanks again, guys, for hanging out with me today. You are the absolute best. Go be productive. Go make money. Go get ready for Q4. Love you guys. You're the best. Bye.